Hello, everyone, and a wonderful morning on a Sunday. Welcome to another series of Optimism Unlimited. Today on board we have Dr. Shiva Ithal. Welcome, Dr. Shiva. It's indeed a pleasure and an honor to have you on board. Dr. Shiva Ithal is a PhD in microbiology in Parbhani. He's teaching
Yes,
students in a college, graduation and post-graduation. He's a health freak. He cycles about 100 kilometers a week. He's also a photographer and a voracious reader. But these are the major qualities. But apart from that, I think there is one thing which is extremely interesting and which is in sync with what Adya also thinks. He is a teacher who is preparing students for life, teaching them to be happy, teaching them what it needs to go ahead in life, how communication is important, how the attitude helps. And he conducts something called Beyond the Syllabus. I think we're going to have a very interesting session today. So, Dr. Shiva, I would like to start off with one very interesting incident which I've read in your blog. Is a student who had come drunk for the examination, and he was supposed to be handed off to the police, and how you took the responsibility and what he is today. We would like to hear it from your end.
yes. His name was Raju. I can never forget him. And that was one incident. He was a matured boy of graduation, had come drunk, and I had written all that in the story. But I, as a teacher, I suppose that there are certain things which we are not supposed to judge somebody by some temporary incidences, temporary happenings in life. Uh, things happen to students, things happen to us. Unless and until we don't communicate, we don't respond, and we don't have an interaction, we never understand or empathize what that person is going through. Means I think the basic quality of a teacher needed is empathy. Because you see, the whole process is a one way process which I don't like, and it has been coming on for years and years, that a teacher is trained to talk, students are trained to listen, and the whole story ends there. Means as a teacher, the audacity of a teacher which is there, that I hate it, I don't like it. If it was the reverse, other way, with respect to education, then it would have been nice. Means the student should have the audacity of being a student, and teacher should be humble in giving. But that doesn't happen. So we always have a moral stick, mental stick in our hand, and we just go on dictating the environment. And that is a very small zone, where once I get out of my class or campus, I am zero, I am no one. One should realize that. So I just had an interaction with that, and like Raju, there are hundreds of stories in my 25-year lifespan, and each time I just try to optimize the things. So you see, I had just like you were nervous, I was also nervous, and I had made up my mind, whatever your first question may come, whatever it may come, it will relate to one particular word, that is optimism.
Optimism.
And yes, and I will speak on that first.
Okay.
And you brought in a very good point of Raju. What I did that time was, I just optimized my mind. You see, optimism is a Latin word which comes from optimizing. Means, and in optimizing means the best. What we can do the best in that particular given situation. This is the simplest definition of optimism. And what we dwell is either too right or too left, and we forget the optimum path.
True.
So in any given incidence, instead of just venturing too right or too left, if you optimize the things, the middle path, I say, that is the optimum. I have been teaching microbiology, and we have a very nice concept. Let me tell you, Miratai, that
Yes, sir.
there is a world of microorganisms everywhere. We call them as omnipresent. God is omnipresent, they say. I have not seen God, but next to God is microorganisms. They are omnipresent, and I have seen them. I have seen them under microscopes. I have seen them, studied them, stained them, and a lot of things. So one very peculiar characteristics of microorganism is that they always thrive in optimum conditions.
Okay.
Whenever we see a organism which is growing in hot conditions, we call it as thermophile, or one which is growing in Antarctica, cold, we call it as a psychrophile. One which is growing in highly acidic conditions, we call it as a acidophile. One which is growing in alkaline conditions, we call it as a alkalophile. So every environment you see there is a microorganism, but there is a big but. In the two extremities, it only thrives in an optimum condition, and we call it as an optimum condition for growth. If that is applied in our brain, is the optimum decision or optimum thing which we can do at this particular given incident. I don't like, Medhat, I would like to tell you, I don't like the word positive and negative.
True, true.
I like the word optimum, optimistic or optimism. I like that. Because you see, positive or negative, whatever it may be, we have to accept the situation. For that particular time being, acceptance is the only key, and you require empathy for that. For a teacher, empathy is required. Whatever the situation, he may be drunk, he may be with a copy, he may be, rules are there. You go by the rules. Then the first rule is the moral rule for a teacher, why you are a teacher, why he is drunk and why you are a teacher at that time. Think, you could have been drunk there and there could have been some another who could have punished him or put him in jail. But a situation has created that he is drunk and a teacher is in front of him. That should be his good stars, I think. And my job, which has been created there out of syllabus, for which I am really paid for. I am not paid for only completing the syllabus. That is just a side business, I believe. So happens, we try to optimize the things. Then with optimum conditions today, I would like to tell you that that boy, every couple of months, he brings farm fresh vegetables to my house.
Okay.
And that is the salary which I get from him.
It was a life-changing moment, sir, when the principal said he was to be handed over to the police, and
Yes.
you intervened and you took responsibility. I think that is something which is very, very valid at this point. Not everybody would do that, you know, taking
Yes.
onus, taking responsibility of a student. And that, I think, affected him so much that he went ahead, studied. I think he is in the police force.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And he said he would, you know, recognize you. You were in your cycling gear. And
Yes.
he said he would be able to recognize you in any way, any form. I think that must have been such a touching moment, you know, to
Exactly.
change somebody's life. You said there are so many students out there. We talk about specialization in education, you know, you have engineers, you have doctors, and then you have graduates, very simple students who really need teachers like you know, to increase their self-belief. I think that is what you're doing. You would like to know more about your out of syllabus sessions where the students, even in the lockdown, they are requesting you to hold them. Right?
Yes, exactly. I would love to talk on that. You see, you used a very nice word right now, responsibility. You took the responsibility, you said. Again, I love splitting the words, you know. The ability to respond is responsibility, according to me. So unless you are not tuned to respond to a situation, how can anyone take a responsibility? So in 1993, when I joined as a college teacher, the best thing which happened to me was my immediate juniors became my students. And that was a hell hard lot of time. You just think, I had to enact as if I was a teacher. They had to enact as if they were my students, and that they will not never do. They were my friends. And out of them, half of them were really my friends who had a backlog. Therefore, they were one class behind in graduation and post-graduation. So it was a tough time and a beautiful time, which I enjoyed the most. Then came a flow from mostly from Andhra, Hyderabad students, and all. From then I understood Telugu from them. I can understand 90% of Telugu, spoken Telugu, due to my Andhra students. And that was a golden period in my life, I suppose, where they taught me so many things by their behavior, their virtue, their continuous question asking capabilities and attitude. And in a very rural, remote area like Parbhani, we still have 70 to 80% rural students. On the contrary, we like to put it on paper whenever there is inspection or NAC committee coming. We love to put it that we are rurally backwards, educationally backwards, etc. I don't know when we will come out of that, but still, that's a big thing. So in that scenario, some 20-30 students per year used to come from Andhra, 95 like that, and that continued for a decade. Almost a decade, our department had students coming from Andhra, and they exposed us. I will very frankly, I will tell you, they exposed us to a culture which was totally different. Like they will come and without fail, they will wish you good morning, and which was not there in even today. My rural students, I don't mean to demean them. They are so honest, the rural students. They are so honest, so sincere, but that attitude and behavior, they were lacking. And how can anybody tell daily, you just wish me good morning? That's not the way. Then I used to, for tens and of years, I used to wish them good morning. Then they will feel shy. They will put their eyes down. They will walk away once, twice, thrice. Then somewhere they will build up that courage and wish me. These things, the Andhra students, they had that inbuilt app in them. They taught a lot of things. So in those times, from those times, what I always believed, that you said to speak about the student activities, syllabus and the pattern and the units, these are there to teach, and we are obliged to teach them. But what I believed is that, as I told you yesterday, that I teach genetics. I have been teaching genetics from 25 years. So I will always see from the human evolution point of view. And that reveals so many things in your brain and makes things easy. Like, see, we have been cavemen, and as a caveman, we never loved our caves. Okay, as simple as that. We like to venture out in the jungle, no matter what the risk was. But that thousands of years of roaming in the greenery, hunting for things, hunting for food, and living in greener pastures, moving ahead and ahead, not confining ourselves to the caves, is what we are today, is what evolution is today. And that we like today also. We don't like classes, we don't like classrooms, we don't like to lock down, we don't like lockdown. We like to go in parks, we like to go out in jungles, resorts. We love the rivers, we love sea. That is what we are made up of. So as a teacher, I made that in my mind, that one thing I will have to accept. No problem, the students are not going to like your classroom. So syllabus is syllabus. We will be just doing what the university prescribes. Then we will go out of the way and dissolve this classroom. So started in 93, an organization called as Students Association in Microbiology. We call it as SAM. Okay. Why that is called as SAM, microbiology, comes because everything starts with the love of the subject. Sure. I will tell you, micro students, they are crazy students, and the teachers are also crazy. They love their subject like anything, and the whole world tells them, "Ye log bahut shane hai, microbiology ke log bahut shane hai," and we just smile and acknowledge. That has been a trend. So, for the love of the subject, that remained. But over these years, we have crossed boundaries. Other colleges, inter and intra district, we assemble students annually. Once we meet, my head of the department, my colleagues, my management, they are wonderful people. They have been supporting this like anything. Even you see the case of students, that drunk student, principal, he handed over it to me and said, "It's your responsibility." That is a great thing. If that was not allowed, nothing would have proceeded ahead. So this thing proceeded, and we have an organization called a Student Association in Microbiology, and we have been doing out of syllabus activities, hundreds of them. We started with planting trees, created a botanical garden in our campus, then maybe a Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Then I have two important programs annually. One is called as How to Make Wise Decisions in Life. The program itself is titled like that. And the second is The Way to Happiness in Life. So these are 30-hour programs, runs the whole year, or as and when we find time, usually Sundays, off periods, we assemble and we discuss on that. I'd like to tell you, means evolution has led, evolution of SAM has led us here. Small activities we keep on doing, many things we did, but at present what we are doing is, my motto is, the free time should not be a pastime. It should be a pastime, but it should be with some uh, optimistic approach, let us say.
Okay.
So we, instead of going to chai tapris, I have a meeting place. We call it as a SAM meeting place. It can be anywhere. It can be in my classroom.
Okay.
So we don't have a venue there. Anywhere you assemble 4 people, it is a SAM meeting. So we assemble, discuss things, read books, about books. It may be ideas, etc., etc. So this concept, how to make wise decisions in life. It, recently, one batch I completed in March, just before the lockdown, and the recent group photo which I posted, that was all that batch.
Okay.
The rules you see about that class or my batch, or usually SAM activities. Rule number 1 is no notebook, no pen, no need.
Wow.
Second is anybody can come freely inside, even when my class is going on. They can leave freely, no restrictions whatsoever. Second, if somebody thinks that, sir, you are getting very bored, please stop, I want to speak, they are allowed. That I will be very happy to do that. Okay. Third, if somebody says, sir, this is going on boring, I want to sing. Okay, beta, come on, get up and sing. They are allowed to sing. Somebody wants to dance, they are allowed to dance. Anything, sir, there is no restrictions. Then if there is no classroom, okay, we will sit under a tree and things will go on. So that how to make wise decisions in life is with these set of rules. Students enjoy a lot. It is all about them, not about me. And we daily, we just discuss with one story. I narrate them some stories. It can be any story, personal stories. It can be from Chanda Mama or the Disneyland or anything, movies. And at the end of it, we discuss. And then I end up with a question. With that story, I end up with just like Vikram and Vetal's story. We end up with a question. I give them one day. Don't rush to conclusion. Tomorrow we will discuss about it. Then they discuss, and then I conclude how to make wise decisions in your life. This is the way. So this has been one very popular event. The second program which I conduct for students throughout the year. These are the things which continue throughout the years, and side by side we do other things also. Most of my students, they come with me on a cycling ventures. We go to villages. I have a very good friend of mine, Dr. Pawan Chandak. He's also a cycling freak, and I am a cyclist from the age of 42.
Yeah,
just I discovered a cyclist in me just due to Dr. Pawan Chandak. The whole credit goes to him, and he's 10 to 12 years younger than me. Okay. And he has such a zeal and this thing. One method I would like to tell you is that one optimistic approach of life is to be with younger people, listen to them.
Very true. Very true.
As junior as he gets, you become more listening to them, and you will increase not only your productivity but add more years to your life.
Very true.
That's what I have been saying. So with the second approach is Way to Happiness. There is one program called as the Way to Happiness, and we discuss certain perspectives. Some 10-20 perspectives are there, and each day one perspective. Like one first perspective, just as example I will give you, is take care of yourself. The whole day we discuss on this. When we will meet, we will say take care. I will recommend other take care. I will tell okay, bye, take care. But do I have the sense to take care of myself? Nobody thinks about it. If you see fingernails are overgrown, the hair is shabby, he is coughing, and no sense of covering his mouth. Maybe whatever small things are there. When we explore it for the whole day, then we suddenly realize that we just give that advice very passively, and we never actively really mean that person should take care of himself. So it has to start with us like that. Then one of the percepts is, you see, respect the religious belief of others. Simple. My religious beliefs have been ancestral. विरासत में आए हैं, दिए गए हैं. So what makes me authority to disrespect the beliefs of others? No way. So that is one perspective. We discuss it, and all the students of all community, they enjoy it. Like this, the whole approach, out of syllabus approach, goes on. With Dr. Pawan Chandak, when we cycle, we go to villages. Villages, these are heavens in India. I don't know about foreign countries, but rural India is heaven. Let me tell you, the innocence which is there, and the people who live there. I don't think any of the politicians have really seen India. They should visit rural areas. We go cycling and we see and we try to disperse things which are not known to them. Like menstrual hygiene is there. Dr. Pawan Chandak, myself, and my some team of students who are working on this for I think thousands of lectures. Dr. Pawan and his wife, who is also a homeopath, she has also conducted classes, and it is revealing what the teenage girls in the rural area think about menstrual aspects and hygiene, how they are so far away from it. And when you teach them, they will implement the very next second you say it. So it is just like a drop of water in the dry desert. They are so much awaiting and we are not giving them. So life is, I think, very short to do all these things. This we conduct in Way to Happiness program, and hundreds of programs to do in our SAM class. Class or whatever it may be, it is SAM. The students lovingly call it as SAM.
Okay.
We have produced movies in that. We have produced, what you can say, cyclists in that. We have produced good artists, good writers. Some of my students, unbelievable writings they have. I would like to mention here one girl, Vaishnavi Tarkase. She writes on Facebook, and she never knew that she had that writing in her. When I used to read, I was so amazed how the thoughts they come so nicely on paper. Then there are some students who are so good in their own behavior. Let me tell you, not in if nothing else. There is no need for a product of your character, you know. Let us say singing is a product of my character, writing is a product of my character. No need. The person himself can be a product. And they don't know that, their parents don't know that, the whole world doesn't know that. Some nice, good human beings, they are there. I just have to have two microscopic eyes and observe the whole world. The whole world is beautiful.
Very true. So this attitude is like, you're not waiting for somebody else to do something, or you're not holding somebody else responsible. In the given circumstances, you're doing what you can do the best, and the results are phenomenal. I mean, you're igniting the minds of every child who comes there. That is such a huge, huge contribution to the society. You're just doing it because you want to do it, because you think it should be done. How many teachers? I think we need more of such teachers who you radiate that optimistic attitude. Whether even when let me tell the viewers here, whenever I need a book, I just have to message Shiva sir, and I think within an hour that book is available. He's a voracious reader. I think you ensure that no matter what, you are going to read 30 pages every day. How do you do that, sir?
You see, I don't know. Thank you for the nice words which you just showered upon me. But I think there are better people. There are more voracious readers than me. There are more better performers than me. And you said correctly, the world needs a lot of such people. And your activity like this, we are just accumulating. For me, I think our very good friend Mukunda is such a voracious reader. I have not find anyone like him, and the way he expresses, that is something I'm still learning. I don't want to imitate. I don't want to copy. I just learn from him the way he represents. That these things are needed. We can collaborate. And one thing I would like to tell you, from where does this all come, is I have an advantage, or we all have an advantage. What advantage is there? For example, I teach a particular class, graduation, post-graduation, research. Every year, the batch or the student which come in front of me, all the students, beautiful thing is their age is locked. They will be 20, 21, 21, 21 every year. Okay, every year I am increasing my age. I am becoming more experienced. That is advantage to them, and that is a pleasure for me, that my experience can be showered to them at a locked stage. As they pass on, they will become better people in the society. They will start contributing, but they have passed out from the campus. So always with that locked young age in front of me, they are such brimming with energy. They are full of energy. They are so enlightening, I will tell you. You just watch them, see them. Don't be judgmental. First thing, whatever they do, accept it. That is the key. I think most of the teachers fail here. Whatever they do, let us say they are stealing, they are drinking, whatever, just observe them. Then your presence, your as Socrates defines optimism as uh, moral intellectualism, he says, and self enlightenment. Moral intellectualism. Intellectualism, with intellectualism I can go on proving anything, but if you have moral intellectualism, you will accept that this is wrong. And self enlightenment within myself is more important. If you just see that, and then you will approach towards optimism, or optimum level of act, and or a response. I'll say the responsibility comes from a response. When I respond at every given moment of time, that I have keep two things in mind. If he was my son or daughter, what would I have done with him? He may be drinking, he may be telling lies, whatever it may be. What would I have done to him if he was my son? That is my first approach. Then the whole perspective changes. Second thing is, when I try to give something to them, I give as if I am giving to my son or daughter. This simple two equation, any person or any teacher, if he keeps, I think everything becomes simple. I had a discussion with one very good teacher on Facebook. She said that I saw your videos; those are very nice, and she is also a very good teacher. But she says that this positive motivation or optimism miserably fails in the class. If I go on preaching, if I go on teaching, for that particular time being, it's very fine, nice. But once the class is over, it fails. So I said, I agreed to the core. And let me tell you, motivation is nonsense. You can't motivate anyone. Motivation has to come from inside. As long as that person feels that I have to act. For 42 years, I never knew there was a cyclist in me. For almost 3 months, my dear friend Pawan Chandak daily compelled, sir, chalo cycling jayenge. Okay, I'll come. One fine day it came within me. And once I ventured into it, I loved it. And a lot of beautiful things happened after that.
Okay.
Thing is, everything is nonsense of motivating students, etc. You have to believe that they will not listen, first thing. Second, they will not listen. They will not do on their own. They will only copy you and follow you to do whatever. If I have some, let us say, Nike shoes tomorrow in the class, within a month you will find 2 to 3 students purchasing, whether that is their capacity or not, they will go for a Nike shoes. If a teacher comes with an iPhone in the class, believe me, whether they have the capacity or not, instantly in their subconscious they will need Shiva sir ke paas aa gaya, ab apne paas chahiye. So yes, so why that way you can, it is, see, easy that easy, it is so easy to teach. What you have to do is be what you are, behave the way you want them to behave. Simple. I started cycling. Today I have tens and twenties of students who have joined me in cycling. They have gone to jobs. Most of the students, they are in Goa, and all the Goa students who are in pharmaceutical industries working as quality control microbiologist officers, all have cycle, and they keep on venturing the Goa. Even if you see one student of mine, Akash Gite, Mukesh Paithane, these are my students, and they keep posting. Akash Gite is a beautiful painter, and he is exploring Goa with his paintings and cyclings. And he is the same guy who drew sketches in my son's book.
Wow.
And that was one very good story. My son writing a book, and my student drawing sketches for the book. So you just have to be what you are with positivity, and the students will copy you. They are copycats. And if you are good, they will copy your good till the end. And if you are bad, they will copy your bad till the end. And you will have that products in the society. As simple as that.
So with so much of negativity around, I've been reading your posts for so many years. I've been watching, you've been following. Never have I seen you distracted or being disturbed with. But now I realize, talking to you, that with so much of things to be done, so many of activities to be done, you really don't need to think about what is going bad. That is one
Exactly.
thing which I think this is a take away for me. Reading 30 pages every day, there is so much to do. Is one doesn't really need to think that what cannot be done. In a small town like Parbhani, you're igniting the mind of so many children. It's really wonderful. As a parting shot, so would you like to give a small message to our viewers?
I'm not that big a person to give messages.
Yeah,
uh, let's say, uh, I thought you will ask me, recommend some book or what is the book which you remember. I thought like that.
that
Message,
also. You can do that also.
no, but I had prepared that thing in my mind because
Please start off with that.
okay, uh, means I had to bring it diplomatically. I had to bring this question in because I had mentally prepared in my mind. For book, as everybody, this is a very popular question, which is the best book which you have read and you remember, and what is the message from that. As a teacher, let me tell you, I read hundreds of books. I never really ventured into fiction. I always, from my heydays, I read non-fiction and loved enjoying it. But as a teacher, it will sound very odd, but the book which I love and every line which I remember, you ask me anything from that, I will explain it in detail with loss of time. You forget time, I will forget time, I'll explain. That is a book called as Microbial Genetics by David Freifilter.
Okay.
Okay, it's a huge, I think, 1,000-page book, and for 5 years I read it as a teacher.
Oh.
And the genetic aspects which I gained from that, I used to read it for teaching. Okay, any other book we read it once, twice, at the most, I think twice, no more than twice we read a book. Actually, Mark Twain had said that if a book doesn't invite you again and again, then you are not a reader, and that is not a book.
Oh.
He had said. So for that particular purpose, uh, I would like to say my book is Microbial Genetics by Freifilter. It is there in that rack. I always take it out and I read it. It has not only prepared me to teach students, but given such beautiful insights of genetics. I will give you one example. Having read that book again and again, I have started watching events, things, people, everything through a genetic perspective. So I see that this is all what I think is out of syllabus. Uh, if you see the response to no is like this, your head left and right. Okay. All over the world, if there has to be a non-verbal response to a thing called as no, it is like this. There is no other sign by humans. But if it has to be yes, there are variety of ways. Somebody nods, somebody up and down, somebody, even this no can be a yes.
Yes.
Most of the time. Okay, so there are variety of ways we convey a yes, but for universally, for no, there is only one.
This one.
So reading genetics, human behavior, when my son was born and when he was being breastfed by his mother, I used to observe that once his tummy is full, he will do like this. And even if he given, he will do like this. Okay, and that is the only way to say, because he is a small kid and he can't say no. So he'll turn this like this, and even if he's forced, he'll turn like this. Then as he grew up, the spoon feeding. Once the tummy is filled, he'll do like this, and for the spoon like this. I think that is the origin for no, the behavior. Like that, every behavior of humans is connected. If we observe our behavior, my message, I don't say this as a message, but my perspective is, if we are able to see ourselves in the mirror, a beautiful song by Michael Jackson is that take a look at yourself and then make that change, he says. Man in the Mirror song by Michael Jackson. So just like that, if we always have a mirror in front of us, and if we keep observing ourselves, which we never do, we enjoy observing others, pinpointing them, taking out their faults, appreciating them, everything. Can we do the reverse for ourselves? I think that is the message, a message from a teacher who loves teaching genetics, because the whole body is made up of chemicals. When we respond angrily, happily, it is not you but your chemicals which are responding. 70% of our body is fluid, means it is made up of chemicals. We are reacting only by chemicals. If there is something anti needed, we don't need anti things, we need pro things. We always react, we don't proact. Like that, there always is an anti mechanism, not a pro mechanism. Today, if there is something needed anti, it is only antibodies for COVID, I think. Only antibodies are needed, nothing. So, for that purpose, if we can observe, from there, I am observing myself. It's very easy, let me tell you. As I told you that day, my most beautiful thought for myself is somebody asking me, आप कहाँ रहते हो? मैं कहता हूँ कि मैं मेरे औकात में रहता हूँ. This, if you do this, otherwise you see the whole world today, at least the India is divided into left and right. And the middle path is so isolated. People like you and me are venturing in the middle path. And can we live in the middle path, the optimistic path, the optimum path, the best path? That is my, I'm not a person to give messages, but that is my perspective for all the viewers that can come in the middle, all of you. Let's not be too right or too left and come in the middle. The world is so beautiful in the middle, where there is no judgment, there is acceptance. And if somebody asks me, how do you want to be if reborn again, or how do you want to be reliving your whole life again? I would like live life just like I am today, right now. But one small tweak, let us say, with one small change, that is unassumingly. I want to live my whole life unassumingly, accepting everything with optimism, optimistic.
That is so wonderful. So I have one question, one last question for you.
Please, please.
Is there anything you don't do? You cook well. You cook North Indian, South Indian. You love music. You read. You cycle. You're a health freak. You're such a good photographer. You're igniting minds. What is it that you do?
I can do jack of all trades and master of none.
Not
So you see, the beautiful thing about life is every other person has 24 hours a day. It is all up to you how you utilize that. Even you can say the great leaders, or even the first person who developed vaccine, Louis Pasteur. It may be Mother Teresa. It can be the Prime Minister Modi ji. It can be Rahul Gandhi. It can be my district collector, or any great person who is working day out, day night. They have 24 hours. I have 24 hours. You have 24 hours. So how can anybody be different? It is all about how we utilize that. Here I would like to tell you one nice thing. My son was in third standard, I think, and he had a very uncanny habit of waking up very early in Sundays, on Sundays.
Okay.
7:30, his school is there. Daily he used to wake up at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But Sundays he used to wake up 3 o'clock, 3:30. And his mother used to fight, Sunday, thoda aaram kar le. You need rest. He said, Mummy, Sunday I would lay. Why? He says, I want to make the Sunday big.
Oh.
As I want to enjoy the whole day. I want to make my Sunday big.
Wow.
So, like a small kid, I thought, what a nice perspective. From that day onwards, I also started. He's now in graduation, around 18 to 20 years of age. But when he was in third standard, he had said that. Then from that, I thought, so nice. We can just make our days larger. Even cycling, I will tell you, 8:30, I have a class in the morning. Wake up at 5, go, and in 1 hour we can pedal 20 kilometers. 2 hours, 40 kilometers is our target. Alternate day we go, come back fresh and go to the class. So everybody asks me, how come you manage that? I say, you can also come. Let's go tomorrow 5 o'clock. I will tell you, but nobody turns up. The thing is that how much we can utilize, optimize. Again, the word what I like is optimize. Optimism is optimizing the available resources. And as a student, those who are students of physics, they will well understand what I'm saying. There is nothing called as time. Time doesn't exist. It is a relative concept. Okay, so how we are utilizing every moment, that is important. And thank you for your kind words. I am none of that what you just said. I am just an experimenter.
Complete conviction, because that is what I believe in.
No, I am just, I can say, I'm an experimenter with life. And to be very frank, there are such nice, good people out there, maybe on the Facebook. Real world has much more better people with whom you can interact. You can learn from them. If somebody says I'm a self-made man, he is the biggest liar on this earth. Nobody can be a self-made man. People keep contributing to your lives, to your character. You get affected some words, some sentences, then you implement it in your lives. You create a character of your own, and then you transmit it. That is infectious. Good character is always infectious, and we keep on spreading and we develop. So I think whatever I am today, all the things you said, there is at least 1 to 2% behind that. A photographer, there are a couple of people who made me a photographer, not me. If I say me, then that will be, I am a biggest egoist on this earth. I am not. If there is some reader, again I would like to tell you, reading is something which you take as a character from some as you grow up. You know, you are never a born reader. So the whole credit goes to people around you, around us. Somewhere you are there, Mukunda is there when it comes to reading also. I don't believe somebody has exchanged or recommended. Mehtatai, I would like to tell you, every book you asked for, more than 50% I had not read, and I have started reading those also. Beautiful books which you had. So the choice of the books is also inspiration for a reader. When you see, say I am a reader, Mukunda is there, you are there, you are contributors. Because as a kid, I was not a reader, to be very frank. My post job days, I started reading, and reading became such a, what you can say, necessity before going to sleep in my mind. And that is enjoyable. I think whatever we love to do, and when you're loving your job, you don't feel like working. Okay, so you have to love your job, you have to love your reading. Forcible, it becomes a job. So don't force things upon yourself. Just enjoy, be happy in whatever you do, and that cannot be with an aim. It should come naturally to you.
Thank you so much, Shiva sir. It's been one of the most.
Thank you. In the final, I would like to say a few words.
Sure.
I would like to conclude with few words. I would like to actually read. Please give me some time. I will read. I am not a good. I'm not a good. You can edit it afterwards if you want. I'm not a good. I am not good at these words, but these are words by one Mr. Mubarak Siddiqui.
Okay.
Beautiful words. I will take 2 to 3 minutes. And as your theme was optimism, these are the best lines of my life. I have been reading it again and again. Wherever I go for the students, I elaborate them. Sometimes you have a whole day discussion on it, and a few lines. Some 7 to 8 lines are there.
Okay.
So कब खत्म होगा ऐसा नहीं लगना चाहिए ना, इसीलिए. Anyway. So words by Mubarak Siddiqui I would like to read. खिज़ां की रुत में गुलाब लहजा बना के रखना कमाल ये है. Means he talks about जिंदगी में कमाल क्या है, कैसी कमाल की जिंदगी कैसी होगी, कमाल ये है. So you should be knowing it, but for the viewers I would like to just खिज़ां की रुत में, खिज़ां means atom, पतझड़ में, खिज़ां की रुत में गुलाब लहजा बना के रखना कमाल ये है. हवा की जद में दिया जलाना जला के रखना कमाल ये है. जद is turbulence, जद माने turbulence. हवा की जद पे दिया जलाना जला के रखना कमाल ये है. जरा सी लग्जिश पे तोड़ देते हैं ताल्लुक जमाने वाले. जरा सी लग्जिश पे तोड़ देते हैं ताल्लुक जमाने वाले. लग्जिश is a blunder or a error or shivering, let's say tremble. जरा सी लग्जिश पे तोड़ देते हैं ताल्लुक जमाने वाले. तो ऐसे वैसों से भी ताल्लुक बनाए रखना कमाल ये है.
क्या बात है.
किसी को देना ये मशवरा कि गम बिछड़ने का वो भूल जाए. This is what we usually do. We are very good in giving advices. किसी को देना ये मशवरा कि गम बिछड़ने का वो भूल जाए, और ऐसे लम्हे में आंसू अपने छुपा के रखना कमाल ये है. ख्याल अपना मिजाज अपना पसंद अपनी. ख्याल अपना मिजाज अपना पसंद अपनी. We are always so self-centered that it is all about me and me. If it is about you, how are you, what about you, we always love people who talk about us. You see, can we reverse that? We forget when we love people who is talking about me, asking about me, then it should be my responsibility to ask about him. But we never do that. It becomes a one way. So ख्याल अपना मिजाज अपना पसंद अपनी. कमाल क्या है? Means here कमाल क्या है? जो यार चाहे वो हाल अपना बना के रखना कमाल ये है,
क्या बात है।
जो यार चाहे वो हाल अपना बना के रखना कमाल ये है. These are the next are the beautiful lines which I love the most. किसी की राह से खुदा के खातिर, किसी की राह से खुदा के खातिर, उठा के कांटे हटा के पत्थर, उठा के कांटे हटा के पत्थर, फिर उसी के आगे निगाह अपनी झुका के रखना कमाल ये है.
क्या बात है।
फिर उसी के आगे निगाह अपनी झुका के रखना कमाल ये है. लास्ट फाइनल लाइंस. वो किसी को देखे तो दुख का लश्कर भी लड़खड़ाए शिकस्त खाए. वो जिसको देखे, मीन्स यू शुड बी दैट पर्सन जो जिसको देखे तो दुख का लश्कर लड़खड़ाए शिकस्त खाए, लबों पे अपनी वो मुस्कुराहट सजा के रखना कमाल ये है. हजार ताकत हो 100 दलीलें हो, हजार ताकत मीन देयर में हंड्रेड्स ऑफ फोर्सेस, 100 दलीलें हो, आर्गुमेंट्स, हंड्रेड्स ऑफ फोर्सेस व्हिच आर फोर्सिंग आर्गुमेंट, ट्राइंग टू क्रिएट डिसहार्मनी. हजार ताकत हो 100 दलीलें हो, फिर भी लहजे में, लहजा इज योर बिहेवियर, एक्सेंट, व्हाटएवर इट मे बी. हजार ताकत हो 100 दलीलें हो, फिर भी लहजे में अजीजी से, अजीजी इज विनम्रता, अजीजी से अदब की लज्जत, दुआ की खुशबू बसा के रखना कमाल ये है. तो आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड बाय सेइंग जिंदगी कमाल की रहनी चाहिए, like that for you. Thank you Medhatai, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be with you. I think this is the first time we are really actually having an interaction virtually. Otherwise we used to read our posts and appreciate each other, but thank you very much.
So the pleasure and honor has been ours. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead.